I tried to do the exact reverse.
Yeah, we're harmonizing.
Are you not gonna?
Here's the thing: is we already have a theme song.
I know, but
So
I
now
thought
you're stacking theme songs.
we were just gonna like do a little jazz.
Oh no,
No,
I don't sing on command.
this isn't the scat cast. Oh, this chair is squeaky as hell.
The pod scats.
I'm
ashamed of myself.
I can't think of another podcast that we could throw the word scat into.
No, it's a German one.
Yes, Guten Scat. Good morning, scat. That's what that means in German.
Euthanasia for the mentally feeble.
Das ist gut. Das ist very good. I woke up pretty early today.
Yeah, so did I. I think I
this-
beat you on that.
To watch this movie.
Yeah, I think around 8 a.m. is when I turned it on.
Good. I turned it on at about 10:30 or something like that. It took me like about 3 hours to watch this movie.
Yeah, same.
It felt like.
There was a lot of pausing. Okay, first of all, welcome to Grindhouse Movie Club. For the love of sweet Jesus.
I guess I wanted to start the podcast off with knowing that this was the first thing that I did this morning.
Yeah.
So when you listen to this podcast and you hear us talk about it, know that this was the first thing that I did.
It's fresh in your brain.
Good morning. It's the movie.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Chud right away.
Welcome
Half a coffee and Chud this morning.
it's more like half a coffee, a stool, and some chud. Fit the chud in when I'm done stooling.
Fit the Chud in after I've loosed a Chud.
Welcome to Grindhouse Movie Club, where we, I don't know.
Find a way to get to talking about shitting as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, we go from 0 to shitty in
We're a
under
Kenyan
60.
marathon runner of shitting conversation.
Just from going from point A to shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
To point F for feces.
Okay.
I don't.
The F is for feces today. Today's brought to you by the letter F.
Yeah.
For feces only.
Hey, Big Bird. He probably takes massive ones. He's huge.
Well, he's also a bird, so he eats a lot of berries, I assume. So that's like I don't know why birds eat berries if they're not going to digest them. And
That's a really good point, yeah.
Oh man, I'm going to eat this that's just going to fly right through me and be a liquid on the other side.
I'm just going to mash this up in my mouth and absorb 0 nutrients from it, apparently.
Yeah, berries. Thank God. That's, I don't even know if that's true. I just know that they love berries and they love stooling.
No puppet on Sesame Street ever discusses bodily functions, you'll notice.
Right, and I got some questions about the one that lives in the trash can.
That's Oscar the Grouch.
So does he just let it fill up until it's disgusting, or does he hop out and get a new trash can after he's stooled in it?
He's like a hermit crab.
Yeah.
Every time there's too much stool in the trash can, it's time for a new one.
He fucking drags it down the block and just like tips it over, crawls out. And
right on a kid. Just trying to sing the alphabet.
Grindhouse Movie Club.
And speaking of things that, that cover homeless people extensively, this week we watched Chud.
We did. They really shine a light on the homeless issue in this film.
Thanks, Andrew, for the theme song.
That too. We're all over the place today.
It's fine. We're going to get him in there.
Go to darkroastcult.com and listen to our podcast. Listen to the podcast, and also buy a pin or two.
Yeah.
There's this little discount code in the description to the podcast.
Beautiful.
Get yourself, I think it's like 20% off. I should plan these things out a little better. I should remember the things that I did last week. So you could go there, use codes, do things.
Grab some coffee probably.
Darkroastcult.com. There's a website. I think we've covered it all.
Yeah.
We thanked Andrew.
Sponsorship done. You know what's fucking stupid?
What's up?
I subscribe to Sam Hyde's Gumroad, so it's $5 a month.
Sorry.
Well, you shouldn't be because it's fantastic, except this motherfucker now does paid sponsorships in his podcast. The last person that I expected to take a fucking Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship.
Oh, man.
And here we are.
There's one thing you're never going to get here. It's a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship.
Matter of fact, I will pay Raid Shadow Legends to talk about how bad the game sucks. How's that?
I mean, I think that's pretty good. If you can make that deal happen,
Yeah.
I'll broker it.
Hit us up, whatever company is responsible for a mobile game that pretends to be something much better.
Yes, let us know how much that's going to require, and I will begin escrow.
Yeah. We're going to put this shit on layaway.
I've used all the, layaway. That's all the business words I know.
I think escrow's like the same thing, but it's just for richer people. I don't know either. Sometimes you're a broke adult and you don't care about money.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure escrow is like a realty term.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I just know that you have escrow and it's good.
And there's money in there.
There might be.
Sometimes there isn't.
Well, tune in next week when we have the answers to what.
Yeah.
We're gonna get our realty license. That's what we're gonna do.
Really drawing out the amount of time until I have to talk about how disappointed I was by this fucking movie.
Yeah, you'd think a movie called Chud.
Yeah.
Wouldn't disappoint because it's from the 80s. It just seems like it's like with the name.
Mm-hmm.
I just picture it's just a grease film.
Yeah, well, that's what you get.
It's just,
but it's not because of the monsters. It's because of the homeless people that surround them.
Yes.
Not a clean face in this fucking movie. 2 clean faces total.
Yeah, the clean faces are above ground.
Yeah.
There's a scene where there's like somebody's like dabbing one of the people who live underground. Not the Chuds. You must know that there are Chuds, and then there are just Uds. The people who are underground, and they're not cannibalistic.
They don't get until you touch the radioactive waste.
Exactly. So the Uds, it was like a scene where somebody's wiping their face, but they don't. They seem to just get dirtier.
Yeah.
They don't. There's no cleaning. That's just a new level of filth.
That's caked on.
That's.
There's no amount of showering.
Years of oppression.
You see the guy. First of all, 2 characters in this movie are also in Home Alone.
Yeah, so
like right after they did this movie.
If you're looking for a family-friendly film,
just ask the ghost that moved a desk just now. What the fuck was that shit? You got this Doll-E Bob Barker up here, and you're channeling demons.
Oh, I showed Jay the magic of Doll-E Mini.
Man,
the art AI.
This thing is horrifying.
You just tell it anything you want to see, and it tries its best.
This thing is better than Chud.
It doesn't understand faces. Can we let's do the Doll-E Mini podcast?
It does a horrible job of processing faces.
All right, so dirty faces in the movie Chud. The only clean thing in this film is the street in the opening where you can tell that it's obviously a set.
First of all, this movie opens, and I have a question about this because this movie opens like every Nightmare on Elm Street before 1991. It's the exact same music, I swear to God. Like the guy that did the score for this also did the score for Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th.
It's like bum 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 bum.
Yeah, that weird synth.
Bum 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 bum.
It's like a hollow synth sound, and it's creepy.
Yeah.
But then it cuts to like the opening of a documentary about an AIDS epidemic in New York.
Yeah, just empty streets, no garbage in sight. For New York City, it's the streets are clean.
Styrofoam cups maybe, but it's just that and homeless people.
And then you got some white lady being just white, walking down the middle of the road like she owns the fucking place.
It's like this whole thing is like a message from Concerned Children's advertisers about jaywalking at night.
It is. Don't step on the manhole.
Don't get near a manhole for the sewer at 2 a.m. How hard is that?
A message from Concerned Children's advertisers.
And like in typical 80s horror movie fashion, it doesn't really beat around the bush. She just gets sucked into the sewer by just slimy wet hands.
An arm.
Right away.
Just an arm.
So you know exactly, and then bam, fucking slate with the title.
Chud.
And so you know exactly what you're getting into within the first 30 seconds. It takes no time.
Chud. That's the sound of somebody just hitting the flat earth as hard as they can.
And at that point, I wrote down my synopsis.
Okay, give me it.
My 2 sentences or less synopsis.
All right.
A bunch of New Yorkers find out what happens when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hit puberty.
That's better than mine. Big chemical disposal cares very little about the well-being of those living on the streets, and it becomes the city's problem, like always.
Oh, big chemical, you don't care at all about the homeless.
No, they don't. and they're just incredibly buff arms.
Yeah.
Just yanking ladies down in holes.
The beefiest arms imaginable.
Oh my god.
So then we get Street Sweeper, and we get our first look at the main subject of this film, which is homeless people walking out from around the corner that has penis graffiti on it.
It sure does.
A giant dick, and it says like "suck this" or something.
I mean, what else would you do with it, really? Right during this with the street cleaners, did you notice that there was like this pigeon that just fucking stood there like it was Tiananmen Square? He's like, nah, I ain't moving. And then at the last second, I thought it was
gonna get sucked right in there. Yeah,
like, great start to the movie.
Yeah, we kill a bird right off the bat.
Dirty bird sucked into a street sweeper. Welcome to New York City.
I mean, technically, its job is to clean up garbage, and that is a pigeon.
Pigeons are flightless garbage.
They are.
Or flight. Maybe they have flight. No,
they do.
They at least flap their wings and make you think they're going to get near you.
Yeah, they try their absolute best to fly, but they don't also want to separate themselves too far from, like, popcorn on the street. So they only fly so far.
Yeah, their wings are from getting to point A to popcorn.
If you go to Toronto, they don't give a shit about you.
Nope.
You can walk right up to them.
Oh, you could probably kick one. If need be. When I went to New York City a long ass time ago, I saw like an injured pigeon, and then like another pigeon was just standing on its neck. And like,
you did this to yourself.
It honestly was like putting it out of its misery.
Oh my god.
It was the weirdest shit.
It was horrifying.
Pigeons are ruthless, and they deserve to get sucked into street sweepers. That's all I'm saying.
So our introduction to our main character, who's John Hurd from fucking Home Alone. His name in this movie is George.
Yeah, you may know him as Peter, the dad, who leaves his son and he goes on a nice vacation. And he just leaves his youngest boy in the house.
They do the fucking head count at the very beginning of that movie. It's like, okay, but like when your kid who's like 7 is quiet for longer than 2 hours in the car, probably look in the rearview mirror for his eyes.
Yeah. See if make sure he's not passing or throwing up.
That movie is basically about an absentee father letting his child be threatened physically by burglars. One of whom is in this movie.
Yeah, he is. And you know what?
That tall, curly-haired fuck looks the exact same in this movie as he does in Home Alone.
The second I saw him, I was like, oh, well, this guy looks like the guy from Home Alone. But there's no way.
There is.
Well, yeah, you got to start somewhere, right? I'm sure he's had a few movies before that, but like, I was like, oh, man, what a rise to fame, you know?
Yeah.
This, then right to Home Alone.
On that note, John Goodman.
Yeah, he's also in this film.
He's in this movie for like 30 seconds.
And it's one of his first films, but I didn't check to see if it was his first film.
I don't know. It's somewhere fucking at the very beginning of his career either way, because he doesn't have the Roseanne haircut yet.
No, and he's also physically, he's like fit.
Yeah, he's better looking for sure.
Yeah, he is a believable cop. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, well, in his attitude, the way he doesn't stop hitting on a waitress for his entire screen time.
Well, yeah, all his, 3 lines?
Yeah, are just, you're hot, give me some eggs.
Well, he needs his eggs. He needs that protein so he can patrol the streets.
So
There's
fucking
chuds out there.
Yeah, and you know, George is a peeping Tom.
He is. Right off the bat, he's not even taking pictures. He's watching homeless people.
Yeah, he doesn't snap that camera one time. He's just watching the dirtiest people in his neighborhood.
And you know what? You don't need to hide. You can just watch them.
So they don't care. So this movie, I changed the title of it. It's not called Chud. It's called Rear Window 2. This time it's hobos.
I don't think I've seen Rear Window 1.
It's an Alfred Hitchcock movie about, and you've probably seen parodies of it.
Disturbia?
Yeah.
It's
fucking Disturbia.
Bum bum beat bum bum ba bum.
Or the Simpsons episode where the same thing happens.
Oh, yes.
Or the Family Guy episode where the same thing happens. Or the South Park episode where the same thing happens. I could go on and on. So many people have broken their legs and need to spy as a result.
Well, one's got Shia LaBeouf in it, and that's the only one I care about.
That's true. It does.
Yeah, so you cut to this guy. His name's George. He's a camera guy. He's a photographer. He doesn't want to take nude pictures of his wife. He's just, nah, listen, I know we're married and you're a model and I'm a camera guy,
I've got better things to do than see you naked.
Yeah, how about we bang, and instead of you making bank and doing your job? How about that? How about you don't do your job and I do my job where I look at naked ladies all day?
Yeah, but not you.
No.
I've seen it.
You better have a Kevlar vest on at all times. You don't show that body.
Don't you dare! I hate perfume.
This guy's the worst boyfriend. I know there's been a few other movies where the boyfriends have just been shit people.
Yeah.
This guy.
This is one.
This is the shittiest yet.
Not only is he a shit boyfriend, but he's also a shit actor in this fucking movie. For the love of God.
Well, he had a lot of growing up to do between this and Home Alone.
There are two people in this movie who act well. One is the police captain, and the other is A.J. Shepard, the homeless reverend.
Yeah.
That's all you get. First of all, our introduction to George is he's dressed like Jeff Daniels' personal trainer.
Yeah.
He's just got these like ripped off sleeveless shirt and he doesn't look like anything.
You're not wrong.
He looks like he lost a Fight Club.
Yeah, he lost and like escaped with his life and not his sleeves.
And so despite the fact that he's a photographer whose job it is to take pictures of things, he doesn't give a shit enough about his girlfriend to remember a shoot date that they set up.
Yep. Yeah. And not only that, he does not want her to take place in it because she's a little naked.
She's a little naked, and perfume ads apparently are selling out. Perfume ads are like the Raid Shadow Legends of the photography world. They pay like crazy, but you feel like you're losing your soul while you're doing it.
Yeah. You definitely, you're selling your soul to the devil, taking pictures of naked ladies selling perfume to other naked ladies.
Which is, it's such an effective, oh, this chick's hot. I bet she smells great.
Well, I want to be naked and smelling good like her.
And then so that whole argument happens.
Yeah, it's really nothing to tune into. Just know that George doesn't want nude photos of his wife on the internet, and he's just like, that's fine. I'm gonna be an asshole the whole time.
I'd rather take pictures of dirty homeless people than you.
Yeah, where are my photos of dirty homeless people?
That's where the real money is.
Yeah. Let me finish my story on homeless people and what they do during the day.
While simultaneously, though, ignoring my boss, who is the one who is paying me to do this.
Yeah.
Like, the guy treats his boss asking him for pictures so that he can put an article out and everybody can get paid like a personal hassle. Mm-hmm. He like refuses to answer the phone, and he's such like just a dick idly.
Well, his whole excuse is that he can't find the homeless people he's supposed to be interviewing. But he acts like finding homeless people is a super easy thing to do.
Well, I mean, like
people without addresses, you of course are going to be super easy to track down. What with their cell phones and their GPS monitors.
Oh my God!
He just stands on a street corner, just like, "Hello, you were here yesterday."
Bombs, bombs.
Bums! Are there any bums?
Please.
I want to take a photo of a bum.
Not that one, though. Not my girlfriend's. Fuck. So, yeah, that happens. We establish right away that their relationship is not great, but she somehow seems to get off on being treated like she's useless. And then we see... so this is a thing that... Do landladies and landlords routinely live in the same building they're renting out to their tenants?
Yeah.
Because that's fucking weird to me.
I think it is a thing in like New York, because you obviously want to be there. Shitty,
truncated New York in like a seedy area.
Yeah.
You want to keep track of your property to make sure it's not being broken into routinely.
I had a property manager that lived in my apartment building when I had that.
And I don't know if it was you or someone else, but stayed in an Airbnb, and the person who owned the Airbnb was like, "Yeah, I'll just be down the hall."
No, but I have stayed at an Airbnb where she's like, "I'll be in my room."
Yeah, that's weird.
It is a little weird.
I would be extremely uncomfortable with that. How do you relax when it's like, okay, the person who owns this place is like 10 feet away from me right now?
Outside of that building. Well, look, that particular place was like 57 stories in the air. Oh. There was no relaxing. I was on edge the entire time.
You just fucking like, I'm high up here.
I slept with my back against the wall. Just to the closest of the center of the building I could get to feel the safest.
To get some like semblance of rigidity while you're in the air.
Yeah, just hovering.
That's a gross amount of meters to be up.
Yeah, not a fun elevator ride. I sat down for that one.
Was it fast at least?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good.
Oh, that's the worst, because then you feel the extra sucked down to like,
now
rocket ship speed.
Well, you're right. If I could do anything in my power to make an elevator ride last as shortly as possible, fine.
All right.
You know? I want to get the fuck out of that metal box.
Fine. Because
it's like 5x5. It's
when you say that, then yes,
absolutely. I'm more claustrophobic than I'm afraid of heights.
Well, I mean, I'm the other way. They're lucky because they just have stairs in this shithole apartment. So she has to go downstairs. She bumps into like what?
That's
some lady and her kid.
That's her landlady.
That's her landlady.
Yeah.
Silver mullet and her son.
She looks like fucking Glenn Close.
I don't know who Glenn Close is, but
Cruella DeVille.
Okay. Yes, she does.
Funny little anecdote about Glenn Close on that note. She plays. She's in a movie called, I believe, The Butler, where she pretends she's a man so that she can like get out of squalor or something like that. And that is an example of like the best casting ever, because Glenn Close already looks like a trans man. They didn't even have to do any makeup or anything. They just tied her hair back. Yeah, that makes sense. I could picture this.
I was really hoping that movie was going to be about her being mean to a butler.
No, she is the butler.
I could see her being really rude to a butler.
She's like, I think she's like, either she's gay or trans. And she masquerades as a guy. And I think she gets stabbed at the end.
Jesus.
In like a weird ass twist, because it's like a very emotional, dramatic movie, and then she dies.
Oh.
It's like, okay.
Well, I'm probably not going to watch it. I'll skip that one.
No, you don't have to.
I'm going to pass on that one just because you just spoiled the ending.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No worries. You're gonna do it to this one too. The most fucking lackluster, disappointing ending.
I got
any movie that we've seen.
I got a laundry list of the ending problems.
Yeah, there are so many, dude. Okay.
I just want to point out that the reason she has to go down the stairs is because her fucking boyfriend was like, I went down there and got my things. Not your things.
I missed that part.
Yeah, he's like, I got my camera. She's like, well, where's all my jewelry? He's like, fucking down there
whoops.
Still.
Yeah. Go down into the seedy basement by yourself.
Yeah, the second she goes down there, though, I'm like, I get it. I wouldn't want to dig around in boxes in that basement either.
No. And like there's an access, this is so fucking weird to me.
A floor flap.
To the sewer. To the straight up sewer.
Yeah.
I thought it was a septic tank at first. Nope. You could just go down into the sewer from there.
And just the stinks that arise, because that's not like a sealed flap. No. It's just a piece of tin over a hole.
There's a thing that we put in floor drains sometimes called a Sure Seal.
Oh, yeah.
And essentially it's just a rubber black flap that sits in there.
Oh, yeah.
They don't make them big enough for a giant square hole.
No, they don't.
So, yeah, that basement just smells like all kinds of shit and piss constantly.
Oh, for sure.
So, yeah, he went down there and got his pictures, probably because they were the closest thing to the door up.
Yeah. And by the way,
my girlfriend.
Why would you ever put your things in that basement? You should have went down and looked at them. Oh, we'll just put them in the corner.
Yeah.
We're going to work around this pile of boxes.
They're renting a giant studio.
Yeah.
You're going to have room.
Oh, yeah, no. Please put it down in the waterlogged, brick, unfinished basement.
If there's a city sewer backup, the first thing to flood is that basement.
Yeah, I want my box of memories on the bottom. Put those on the bottom. The irreplaceables as closest to the sewer hole as possible.
my child's baby shoes.
Yeah. Get him to this flap in the ground where horrible sounds are coming from. We're not going to talk about it.
Probably always.
Yeah, we're just gonna never mention the sounds, and we're gonna GTFO.
I like that. It's so unappealing to come up and down out of that sewer that even the Chuds wait until later in the movie to try it. Yeah. Instead, they make holes elsewhere and take people from there. This fucking landlady's just out. First of all, this is the dumbest landlady. Because what does she do? She's walking down the street in shitty New York, sees a tent made of boxes. That's a hobo's hideout.
Yeah.
And the first thing she does when it jostles around it is go, oh, what's that in there?
Yeah, certainly not a homeless person doing something in the privacy of his own box.
Yeah. which you don't want to disturb them unless you could see their head and face.
Yeah, if you can see that they're masturbating, they're not covered up enough, and you should let them know.
One time, I was downtown. I believe I was coming here, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
And I saw two people banging under a thin blanket on a vent right outside the radio station building.
Hey.
Right by a bus stop.
The warm air,
broad daylight.
The warm air coming up from that vent felt great on their grundle.
Like so underneath this city there are a bunch of steam lines theoretically. Mm-hmm. So that's why you see like the grates, they got steam all the time.
Yeah, that's just because hot shits, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, hot shits.
So that's what you're fucking in, and probably what you're sleeping on top of as well.
The hot shit steam.
It's better than rose petals.
Well, it's probably better than freezing.
Hot shit is an aphrodisiac. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, yeah, you got to bang as close as you can get to it. Right on that grate too. Those grates have it's 2-story drop underneath them.
Yeah,
so it's
they do.
The danger of just banging on the shit grate.
Oh, it's thrilling.
Yes.
It's thrilling and it smells awesome.
You look down there and you see Band-Aids and nickels. And you're just like, yeah, give it to me underneath this child's blanket.
A needle or two. Oh, God. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my fucking life.
I can imagine.
So this fucking movie, so the landlady investigates the jostling box in Hobo Hangout, New York, and just finds a hole with blood.
And that doesn't seem to upset her too much.
No, it doesn't seem to upset her as much as being startled by the box moving in the first place.
Yeah. No, and this is the last we see of her in the film.
Yes, it is. Yep. We do see her son being a retard.
Yep.
Investigating somebody pounding on a door, monster or not, when you're 5 years old is never a good idea.
Yeah, no.
Because they want in, and half the time it's to take you out.
And this child, just balls of steel, was just jiggling the handle, almost letting that monster in.
Oh my God.
That kid's got huge nads.
I don't remember being that curious about any loud noise at that age. So this movie falls into the typical 80s horror trap where you get to see a little bit of monster and then spend 45 minutes establishing characters. And there are so many characters.
There's many characters and such little monster.
Yeah, really not enough. I haven't been more disappointed by a movie that we've watched so far in the amount of monster you see.
Yeah, there's been some disappointing ones, but this one's been you see up to their wrist, like
90% of it.
They're like a fucking 1930s burlesque show where it's like
just the ankle.
Here's my ankle, just enough. That's all.
A terrible time for your penis to live in.
Poorly manicured monster hands just slapping around outside of a grate. That's all it is.
That's all it is. 80% of this movie is
just monster wrists.
It's the first hour and 10 minutes. That's what you get.
Oh, so yeah, it cut to fucking the cops.
Yeah, the police captain and his inefficient and useless squad of police.
You've got you got blue shirt cop who looks like Josh Peck, and he's like, listen, there's been so many husbands walking out on their wives. That's what that's literally. He's like, this guy left his wife and he never came back. This is like the fourth husband to walk out on his wife in the last week.
This is the most important thing going on right now for me as a police officer.
What are we gonna do about all of this marital? Whoa! I forgot the word I was looking for.
I don't know what it is.
Marital discourse. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And he's just like, we're covering this up.
Yeah, this motherfucker really buries the lead on the fact that the first person who gets killed by a Chud in this movie is his wife.
Did he mention it?
He did.
Okay.
Later.
Yes.
Much later.
Because I went, whose head is that? And he's like, it's his wife's.
Yeah.
He had a wife?
He goes, I can't keep a lid on this thing to the police chief. And he's like, you're going to have to. But at no point does he bring up the fact okay, but my wife is missing. It's important, probably.
Well, he's a 1980s cop who's so dedicated to just
having a mustache.
He's at the precinct. He's growing his mustache. Mm-hmm. He's barely at home. His wife barely sees him. He wakes up from a phone call in the middle of the night. He's like, oh shit,
I gotta go in.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
and then he leaves. And then he hasn't been home since because of the Chuds.
And they talk about his fucking her profession and stuff. She went back to school or something, and she stays up nights studying. Well, that's not reason enough. That doesn't make you absent.
Yeah.
You're at home studying. Hang out with your chick sometimes.
Yeah. Ask her about her life. See where she's walking her dog.
Did you happen to notice that the police captain's like assistant or whatever is like the most impatient and ungrateful bitch?
I didn't.
Like every time that he asks her to just do her job, she rolls her fucking eyes at him like he asked her to go get coffee for him or something. I was like, yeah, I need this paperwork processed, and she's like, again?
This is not what I signed up for.
But it literally is, woman.
I was sit here to type with my probably long ass fingernails. Yeah. On this.
Now, she is in a police uniform, but like she doesn't actually do any other police work. So all she does is sit at the desk and like get him papers.
She's one of those desk jockey paper push and pencil snappers.
So like this movie reminded me a lot of one called Street Trash.
Yes.
And it's because it's homeless people getting killed after drinking Mickeys of vodka for most of it. There's always homeless people with a Mickey of like dirty toilet rum just sleeping on the street.
Yeah, there are. Well, that's New York City.
Sleeping right on the sidewalk and nobody says or does anything about it.
That is New York City in the 80s. From what I understand. That's yeah.
Speaking of New York City in the 80s as a police detective, every single one of them wears a brown blazer. It's not just this movie. Like this captain has a brown blazer on, and every other police captain in every movie since Leslie Nielsen died has a brown blazer on.
It's part of the uniform. It's just, it signifies power, but not too much power, but enough that you're like, I don't need to put on a badge. You want to see my badge? Let me look in the little pocket in my blazer.
Yeah,
shit.
The tiny fucking pocket that fits nothing but cigarettes.
And a badge.
I guess. So then, this other cop looks like Fat Jay Leno.
I don't know. I think he's Josh Peck. I saw Josh Peck.
Josh Peck before he lost the weight and became Vine famous?
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
And then we get... So, like, one thing about this movie that I noted was the absence of ability to note anything.
Oh, yeah?
Scenes just happened to me.
Yeah.
And I went to write things down, and it's like, there's nothing of substance or value here.
There was a good point where I just was letting the movie happen.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. Yeah.
It's like, I need to write things so that I could pop this podcast off. But I'm going to be scrounging the bottom of this barrel. We
need something to recap, and you're not giving it to us.
No, you're just giving me, like, dialogue and things that have, like, no weight or any fucking, like, consequence throughout the rest of the movie.
Quite a bit of filler.
Yeah, tons of it. We hit Murphy the journalist around this time.
I fucking hate this guy so much.
The worst attitude to have for somebody who needs help from people in order to do his job well.
Yeah, and to be honest, it seems like all he wants to do is just ride the coattails of George here.
Yeah.
In the article that he's writing.
George is the one doing the legwork. And then Murphy just shows up during like a picnic they're trying to have and puts his face and dick in their business.
Yeah, and he looks like an alcoholic who is much older than he actually is. And like he's trying to maintain the fact that he might still be young by having a long haircut.
Yeah.
But he's also an alcoholic.
He looks fucking 48. He's probably like 30.
He's got the hair. Yeah, he's got the haircut of like a 26-year-old, but he's like an old guy. He looks like anybody on Kids in the Hall when they try and play. They try and make them look younger. They just give him a floppy haircut. Yeah.
Or like episodes of The Office where they do flashbacks and Jim's haircut's totally different, so they just slap a wig on his head.
Yeah, that's exactly.
We're just going to mess this up a little bit.
Oh my God, that's the vibe.
So he's asking, he fucking gives this police captain attitude about like, okay, well, if you wanted to do your job well, you would tell me bullshit. Mm-hmm. And then I would write a story about it, thus making my job worse. My reputation would be lowered if you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, man, cool. Here's a piece of useless information to use. I'm interrogating a bag lady.
Do with that which you will.
Yeah. That's a good, that's your head, that's a good front page story right there.
Mm-hmm. Bag lady interrogated.
It's like you literally asked for your job to be made harder and you got what you asked for.
Oh, God. Yeah, and so this movie's really good at like here's the scene, mm-hmm. Just like cut,
yeah.
cut. So we cut to George begrudgingly taking almost nude photos of his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. And
just being an ass.
And he goes, all this is tits and ass all day. Oh, so you're describing a dream job.
Yeah, oh, tits and ass and tits, just to sell some perfume. Dude, he pops off.
He does.
Oh my God. Everything he says sounds sarcastic and like
all the time.
He's just totally talking louder than he thinks he is because everybody's like looking at him like, I can hear this.
And like his girlfriend's trying to have a career about it.
Oh.
Whatever her motivations are, because later on she's like, well, we're just trying to suck some money out of these people, so just roll with this.
Yeah, that's the only way that made it okay with him.
Yeah, betrayal and lies to your coworkers.
After he goes off on this rant, and
which you could never come the fuck back from.
Yeah, the whole rant is about how he's not jealous or he's not upset that she's naked. But it comes off totally like he's pretty upset that she's naked. It's like, oh, worthless perfume that smells like sheep dick. And she's like, shush him. Don't shush me. They know it. They made it. They know what it smells like.
I'm hitting you when we get home.
Oh, you get back over there. Oh, God. Fuck. George, yeah, he's just the worst unsupportive boyfriend.
Yeah, it sucks. I did appreciate the shitting on people right in front of them, basically. But at the same time, just back your chick up.
Yeah.
How hard is that?
Yeah. You're well within earshot of all these people. Wait till afterwards to berate her. I don't know.
Wait till you're in the car?
Yeah, like if you're gonna berate her, and you probably
pull the sun
shouldn't.
visor down so that when you slap her in the face, nobody can see.
Maybe, or just berate her.
Or just don't do that either.
Yeah, if just take the photos and get the fuck out of there. Yeah, so he's going off about the perfume. Again, cut right back to the police.
Yeah.
And this
the
cop,
bag lady.
The cop picks up a report and he's like, oh, AJ. I arrested an AJ 5 years ago. I wonder if that's the same guy.
Top-notch police work on your part.
Oh, absolutely. One AJ in all in New York.
There's one AJ, and then also, like, I remember this from 5 years ago, despite the fact that I do this every day of my life.
Right.
This guy's a fucking elephant with just arresting people.
That or he's only arrested one person in the last 5 years.
He's just so inept. Oh, I remember my last arrest 5 years ago.
Oh my God, the worst cop. Long story short, yeah, it's the AJ.
Yeah, it
Lo
sure
and
is.
behold, it's the AJ, and for some reason they've got beef over something that happened 5 years ago.
Yeah, like who cares?
They never forget.
Well, it's very much like a homeless versus police who hassle them all the time vibe.
Yeah, I guess so.
But with that being said, like, you're like a pastor at a soup kitchen. Who cares about the police captain?
He does nothing pastorally or reverendly.
The reason
entire film.
I think the reason why they call him Reverend is because his last name's Shepherd.
Okay, all right.
I think. Right? Like it's just like a nickname, sort of?
Yeah, maybe perhaps like it's the soup kitchen thing too. I guess that's like something your churches do.
And like you don't really get a decent look at where the soup kitchen is, but it looks like it's in like a bombed out church.
It does look like the dirty basement of a unused building.
Yeah, like a monastery.
And like it's probably the filthiest place you could imagine to be cooking food for people.
Yeah.
Would get a D grade. If the health inspector kicked the door in, D, immediately.
You see, like, he's cooking this soup on a gas stove 5 feet away from dirty hose water.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, these homeless people come from all around for my delicious soup that I make from scum and kittens.
Well, yeah, because it's that or they find it in a dumpster. At least they know you're making it fresh.
Literal beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, it really is. And this is where you find out that he's been feeding people who live in the ground.
And so this is funny because in Manhattan, and there have been a couple documentaries and an episode of Bones about it, this is a real thing. There are motherfuckers who live in like the dirty tunnel subways.
It doesn't surprise me. What does surprise me though is that there are tunnels under New York and people they seem to have forgotten about it.
It's not like the Paris catacombs from fucking, and those are from like the 1600s and everybody knows all about them still.
Yeah, no, these are more recent tunnels. Yeah. And people are like, what? No way.
So in this fucking documentary, it's about how like a lot of New York graffiti started there. So they, like Jerry Springer does an episode of a show where he goes down and talks to him. He's like super nice.
Okay.
Which is just hilarious.
That's, I guess you got to take a break from telling people they are or are not the father. Absolutely.
From food porn. I'll always remember that episode of Jerry Springer where they have a couple on and one of them has a food fetish and the other one's not into it. And then they find out, or they reveal that he's been cheating on this fat chick who likes to mash potatoes all over herself. And they fucking cart her out like a la carte restaurant food surrounded by like salads and meats. And she's massive. and they immediately start making out. And so his girlfriend's watching this the whole time.
Oh my
And then
God.
she grabs a handful of potatoes and shoves it in her tits and goes, "Is this what you want?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, mole people they're called.
I'm sure that's
They're actually called mole people in the
sounds like
subway.
a derogatory term.
It's not. It's what they choose to be called.
All right.
In these subway tunnels in New York. So, like, yeah, a couple documentaries about that shit. While this conversation is happening between AJ and police captain, we go over to the one guy who's left because everybody else is missing from underground. Which, again, how do you know that?
Yeah. How do you know?
All he does is make soup and have a tunnel access door in his basement.
Well, words come up from the sewer, you know? He's got little birds everywhere.
It's like Lawrence Fishburne and John Wick.
I was
He's
thinking...
just got carrier pigeons fucking all around the city telling him everything.
I was thinking Game of Thrones, bald guy with no penis. Or Littlefinger, I forget.
Well, I wouldn't know because I haven't seen it.
Well, he's got little birds everywhere that feed him information.
Yeah, so that's Lawrence Fishburne, and fucking John Wick does the same thing, but it's about assassinations.
Well, this guy is just shouting down a sewer like, "Hey, hello!" And then
one day nobody responds, and he goes, "Well, they must be dead."
What's this guy's name? Val. You know what Val is?
Is Michael J. Fox after a psychotic episode?
No, Val's the harbinger. Wait, do you remember what he says to the cop?
Yeah.
He says some fucking wild shit that makes no sense until the end.
Yeah, he's got some crazy foreshadowing metaphors.
Yeah, and they go, fuck this guy and his big knife.
I'm not gonna listen to this prophetic words he has to say.
Yeah, right? What the fuck does he say? I wrote it down.
Oh, something crazy as fucking all get out.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. He says there's on each side of the throne there are four living creatures filled with eyes in front and behind. I know your work. You go by the name of being alive, but you are dead. They have the power to shut the sky.
What the fuck does that mean?
Right?
Val?
Yeah.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Maybe come up from the sewer every once in a while. You need some sunlight, buddy.
Read a book that isn't fucking like George Orwell's 1984 one time.
This guy's got seasonal affective disorder out the wazoo.
He needs that vitamin B shot.
Oh my God.
Ugh, dude. I wrote a lot here about inept police. So Bag Lady gets sprung by George because it turns out that she's one of the subjects of his fucking weird hobo project where I just take pictures of homeless people and don't try to enact any change whatsoever.
Yeah,
I take pictures so that my readers can go, "Ugh, look at that."
Yeah, they definitely just let this homeless lady go after trying to pull the cop's gun. Yeah, they're just like, all right, well,
that's like at least a misdemeanor.
Your bail's here. Don't do it again.
For some reason, this very clean man has come to rescue you from very much deserved prosecution.
Yeah, this very bathed man is taking this almost chimney sweep-esque dirty-faced woman.
Every single one of these homeless look like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins.
They look like the little rascal who puts his face up to the car exhaust.
Yeah. So fucking the police captain decides to put a tail on old George Cooper here with his bag lady friend.
Fucking wicked tail. Professional. As a former PI,
right?
Rate the tail.
Well, I'll tell you right now. Following people on foot through a subway with nobody else in it is a fucking no-no, because if they turn around and they go, "Oh, who's that?" and you're done.
Oh yeah,
you're done for the day. Hang it up.
Yep.
Not only that, they go down into the subway. They're clearly going into the subway tunnels. He takes one whiff of the subway and goes, "Well, my job's done. I quit this and I'll lie to my boss."
He gets as close to the entrance to the underground tunnels as he needs to get and goes, oh, I lost him.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oh, it smells bad. I'm not going to do my job today.
Yeah, he literally does not try. I can't make this clear enough. He goes, better tell him I lost him.
Yeah.
He writes it down and everything.
He fucking walks a solid 3 blocks and goes, I'm beat.
Fuck. If they're going to go that far in,
take that important for us, I guess.
I wasn't told to bring a flashlight.
It's not like I got an order from a higher up as a police officer.
Fucking top 10 copping.
He's as invested in this tale as he is in like a card game he doesn't like.
He's gonna be on Watch Mojo's top 10 bad cop list from horror movies.
And then we just get like nothing about it for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Like that's, oh, I lost him. Okay, we're not going to investigate this any further for a while.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're not going to wait until he inevitably comes up out of because he clearly doesn't live there because he's showered like yesterday.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they're not working on the missing people. They're not working on the husbands walking out on wives.
No.
What are the police doing?
Hitting on waitresses in diners that sell the best ice cream, apparently.
Oh my god, these pieces of shit.
And then, we're exploring the fucking underground tunnels where Bag Lady is trying to show George to everybody who feels threatened by the outside world like it's going to be okay that they see him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely bring the intruder in, the outsider, into the scary underground where people are easily threatened.
My reflex as a dweller underground is to try and hit you in the head with a pipe wrench as soon as I see you.
Oh my god.
This'll be safe and fun.
Yeah. While they're walking, he tries to interrogate her, like, why'd you need the gun? Why does a homeless person need a gun?
Hey man, so many reasons.
It's rough out here.
It sure is.
You want to be top homeless person? Get a gun.
I'm not trying, like, I need protection if I'm gonna have to fight for a mayonnaise sandwich.
Yeah, why else? Like, there's just a plethora of reasons why a homeless person would need a goddamn gun.
Yeah, that's not a question you ever need to ask.
But yeah, he's like, no, I got bandages. I don't got a gun, but I got bandages for you.
Great.
Wicked.
And what are we gonna bandage with those, what I can only assume are Band-Aids?
Yeah, probably a scuffed knee.
No. Whole eaten leg.
Yeah.
Just a leg eaten down to the bone, and that's our introduction to this guy, Victor, who's clearly in septic shock.
Yeah, Victor's just like, they're like, Victor, what do you need the gun for? They're like, oh, I'm gonna shoot those ugly fuckers. He's out of his mind.
He's not fucking picking up a gun to shoot anything. Not to mention, thank God you brought bandages.
Yeah, brought those bandages. Let's see what we're working with here.
Exposed bone and meat?
I didn't need to see it to know it was gonna be gross.
No, because he's fucking shaking like he's having an epileptic fit the whole time.
I mean, that and just the sounds of the bandage peeling off of the flesh.
And the abundance of blood that's leaked through them.
I already know it's icky under there. And he's like,
Hey, George, how about some medicine?
I'm not a doctor, but I'm gonna take a look at that. Oh, I can see the cap of your knee, your tibula, your fibula.
All those yullas in there are fucking clearly visible.
Oh, yeah. But he's fine. He's just chilling. He hasn't died of blood loss because that bite missed all those major arteries there, so we're good. And yeah, he's just chilling on the mattress in the dirty sewer, infection-free.
Yeah, no problems there at all.
He's got his sister to dab his dirty forehead, which doesn't come any cleaner.
Nope.
And
well, because you're using sewer water to dab the forehead.
That's right. That's right.
Probably used sewer water to wet down those bandages.
That's an old wives' tale, or old wives' trick, or
it is.
housewives, a handmaiden's tale. When you get your knee bitten, wipe some dirty sewer water on your forehead for instant relief.
Isn't a Handmaid's Tale about like two Asian chicks that bang each other?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's about.
I'm pretty sure a Handmaid's Tale is that like post-apocalyptic thing with the ladies in the red dresses, and you got like the lady from Get 'Em to the Greek, Jonah Hill's like girlfriend.
No idea who that is.
What other film is she in? She's in Hollow Man. No, not Hollow Man. The Invisible Man, the new one.
Oh, I'm not gonna know that either. And I'll tell you why, because that movie's fucking garbage.
You know, it was worth the watch because I'm not gonna watch the old one. I'm never gonna watch the original.
You should just skip it all and watch Hollow Man instead.
Well, you get
to see Kevin Bacon truck a dog against the side of a kennel.
I got some bad news.
And it explodes in infrared.
Bad news for you.
What's that?
So, if you don't like The Invisible Man, you're gonna hate the fact that they're really trying to make that universe happen.
Oh, of course they are.
They got Frankenstein and like werewolves coming.
Probably Morbius is part of it.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was like the shoe in the door.
If the fucking Jared Leto's shitty vampire movie that sucks ass.
I'll watch it if it happens to me.
No, you'll hate it. You might not, but it sucks.
If I'm on in like a lobby and I look up, or if I'm at the dentist and I look up and it's like, oh, Morbius.
You know how like You'd think that after Inception, people would stop using the mammoth stomp in extreme slow motion in their movies because it's played.
Oh,
but that's
no.
like half the fucking movie.
I fucking love those. Yeah, mammoth hits.
Here's the problem, though, is that like all it is him jumping through like a plate glass window.
You've seen this movie.
I've seen enough of the movie to know it sucks. I refuse to watch the movie. I basically saw the trailer and then some.
You saw so much of this fucking movie.
Too much.
Fucking loves it.
Matt Smith looks like he's got fetal alcohol syndrome.
Oh, he's in the movie.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he's the worst Doctor Who. So I don't now.
Dude,
I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, thanks.
Now I'm not gonna watch that or the Harry Potter he's in.
The fact that I said Jared Leto was in it wasn't enough to scare you off.
Was he 30 Seconds to Mars?
Yeah, he's in one good movie and he plays a transvestite.
Are you sure it wasn't the Joker? Are you thinking of the Joker?
Let me tell you right now to your face, I will never watch Suicide Squad, and I hate his Joker more than I hate pretty much any superhero or supervillain in any movie ever, with the exception of Ben Affleck as Batman. Those two are on par for bad for me.
You didn't like Robert Pattinson? I thought that was the best Batman.
That wasn't Ben Affleck.
Oh, you think he's the worst?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
The fucking Robert Pattinson's Batman was sick.
That was a good Batman.
I was a big fan of that.
So yeah, we'll catch up with this on our superhero podcast. You can catch us. Where can I super poop? So that'll be hitting iTunes, Google's. By the way, all of our episodes are up now. You can, if you're not listening to them on SoundCloud, you can listen to all of them there.
Well, that must just have happened.
It did. It happened at like 2 a.m. the other day. I texted you about it.
Yeah, because I was told on Friday that like 4 to 6 were still unavailable on iTunes.
They're there now. I'll give you a fun thing. Like, you know how when you're like, this is busted, and you show it to a professional, and they're like, what are you talking about? Look, and that's the one time it works.
Yep.
I fucking emailed Spotify. I'm like, or I emailed SoundCloud. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And they're like, oh, did you click this one box that you've never heard of before? Sure enough, I clicked that box.
Oh my God.
And it was only unclicked on those episodes. So.
The exact same thing happened to me when I was trying to file my taxes and discovered that I hadn't successfully filed my taxes since 2019.
Whew.
And I go, hey, man, clearly Middle Eastern man on the phone.
Yep.
Why is that? And he goes, oh, you have to navigate after you've done all the filing and sent the payments if you owe. Oh. You have to navigate down to another menu that doesn't make itself extremely clear in the bottom corner of this tax program. And then that's how you file them with the government.
Fuck. That's the Chud of tax programs.
It sure is, dude. I was stoked. Thanks so much for telling me that. I almost fucking got like audited because of that shit. Thanks.
Oh my God.
So mad, unfortunately, at a guy whose fault it wasn't.
I fucking love not getting information that you needed to have.
Dude, especially when it comes to like things that I can get in legal trouble about.
Yeah. Here's a little thing. Dude, there's the tax button. Did you hit the tax button?
Oh, dude.
The safety legal don't audit me button. Did you hit that?
I'm sorry. I thought that by filing my taxes and paying the government money, that would just happen.
No, there's a little box underneath that says, please leave me alone. You have to click that or else they don't.
Oh.
They come in.
Well, you should probably put like an arrow or something to it so that people know who are retards like me.
Well, it's the government, man.
Good Lord.
So, yeah, cut back from that fucking wound.
That filthy wide open leg, as I've literally written down here.
Right back to AJ and the chief Bosch here.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, AJ is rolling a fucking joint while he's talking to this cop.
He's rolling tobacco.
Is he?
But it looks exactly like rolling a joint, let's be honest.
It does. I assumed it was rolling a joint because it's the 80s, and like that would be something you'd do in front of the cops.
Now, with that being said, if I were a police captain and I were speaking with a homeless man and he began to roll illegal substances in front of me, I'd go, do you, because look at your whole life. That's fine. I'm not going to bust you on this one because clearly you have things to forget. And at this point, I believe, yes, this is when he says for the first time to a homeless man, as opposed to the entire police department who can actually do something about it, that it's his wife that's missing. And that's why he cares so much.
Okay, I think I was jotting down some shit while he said that.
Because AJ is like, why the fuck do you care so much? You've been down here 3 times in a week. Mm-hmm. And he goes, well, my wife has been kidnapped.
Oh, my damn wife.
I don't give a shit about you homeless people going missing. Yeah. But I'm not getting dinner now. So I have to do something about it.
This has got to stop.
I haven't had a steak in a week.
I can only have a sandwich so many times before I have another.
A straight cheese sandwich.
But yeah, no, he goes, AJ's like, hey, I found some shit in my basement. And he shows him like nuclear stuff.
That look like Fisher-Price toys?
It does.
They look like children's versions of radiation testing equipment.
Here's a child's Geiger counter. The Geiger counter being the device that counts H.R. Geiger pictures.
And an H.R.
many...
Geiger counter just calculates the number of aliens in the vicinity.
Yeah, it finds penis and vagina-like things, and it goes, look at that.
Take, that looks like a dick. That poor old man was obsessed with penises and vaginas.
Have you seen, there's like a museum of his stuff, but
Fuck yeah.
It's a bar.
Oh, I've seen tons of them.
Oh, shit.
His illustrations.
Well, no, his museum bar.
I haven't seen the bar museum. That's sick.
Oh, shit.
That's something that I would very much enjoy.
Well, yeah, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, just Google H.R. Geiger, and I'm sure his actual name will pop up, because I'm sure that's not the first initials.
It is.
Oh, I nailed it!
His fucking name sure is H.R. Geiger.
Yes! All right. I just wrote that down and said I'm not even going to fucking Google it.
No, you were dead right.
So yeah, and he pulls out this fucking Geiger thing, and boy, does it go off.
Now, this is a problem that I had with this movie the whole time. Number one, he's talking about how the EPA goes into the sewer and just like does like some testing for like once a week every year or something.
Yeah, they do like a probe or some shit.
And this time it's lasted a month. Now, there is no amount of coverage that you could do in order to hide that information. Hey, the Environmental Protection Agency has like an insane amount of regulation surrounding it. If a thing routinely takes a week and it's now taken 4, ding 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 bells of alarm away. Secondly, they pick up this fucking Geiger counter and he calls it a surge later. But what happens is a chud gets real close to them and then decides it's not hungry. If I'm in the sewer and I have a Geiger counter and I'm getting Chernobyl readings off of that shit,
especially when it started at 0,
guess what?
Oh yeah.
End of search.
Yeah, the fact that they let that go all the way up and they're just like,
that's weird, and weren't running away from without even knowing that it's chuds yet, just that level of radiation is enough to poison the shit out of you.
They were unconcerned with that. Mm-hmm. They seemed pretty unconcerned when the fact that it went down. Yeah. And then heard a monster scream and they still didn't take off like the little rascals out of a haunted house.
End of exploration.
Yes, we're done.
The best thing that this cop does is bring in guys with flamethrowers to deal with this problem.
Oh my God.
That's the smartest thing that he does.
Police issued flamethrowers. You know how they always have a flamethrower on hand?
In Manhattan, New York, there's plenty of flamethrowers and probably Panzer tanks and miniguns.
Quickly, to the closet of flamethrowers.
Just grab them off the shelf over there by the books.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that happens. And then my overarching point there, people in this movie literally get close enough to radioactive waste to touch it, and nobody gets sick. Mm-hmm. The only people who get sick are the chuds because they live around it all the time. Yeah. I got news for you. Radiation, either it happens to you or it doesn't.
Fair point.
So if you're that close and you're touching it, don't worry about turning into a chud. Worry about your skin falling off later, like a wet rag.
There are so many good videos on the internet about people who have just found things in the woods that have been radioactive and brought them back to their little town and like killed half the population.
Yeah, it takes like 5 days before you're throwing up your organs.
Yeah.
Chuds are not the primary concern here.
No.
They at least stay in the sewer.
Fuck. So after that scream, there's a scene in this movie. There's 2 scenes that are back to back, according to my notes, that hilarious.
Okay.
So from that, we cut to Lauren.
Yeah, which is George's girlfriend.
The model girlfriend being like, hey, I just got back from the doctor's. I'm pregnant.
Yep.
He suggested an alternative, which is abortion.
First of all, George's response to finding out that his girlfriend is with child is so underwhelming that you can tell he's going to be a shit father.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he goes, all right. Well, you want to hook it out of there or what?
Bet.
With with about as much enthusiasm as I have, like, when I might get a shower later.
Yeah. Holy shit. But the way she's just like, yeah, the doctor recommended an alternative.
Yeah.
Do you want the alternative, George? George, do you want the abortion? Doctor said to me, hey, you're pregnant, but I mean,
we could get that out. We could do that this afternoon.
Yeah, we could abort that if you want. You don't have to be.
I could probably fit you in around 1. I got a tea time.
Oh. I'm pretty sure abortion was supposed to be more taboo in the 80s.
So yeah, and
so doctors just don't fucking passing out prescriptions to fucking get hooked.
In the Fly, you got to go to like the fucking backwoods 3 a.m. doctor. That's the only one in with his fucking his business open. Meanwhile, this doctor's like, fucking, let's go with this.
I've got the machine in the back.
Yeah, dude, it's in my trunk. I could just drive you home after.
Oh, fuck. So there's that.
I noted that, like, this is, like, the most progressive approach in any 80s movie to the idea of, like, being pro-choice and women being in charge of their own bodies.
Yeah.
He literally goes, it's your body, it's your choice. All right.
Applause. I'd applause, but I gotta hold the microphone. Hold on.
George is like, yeah. George is a good boyfriend for all of, like, the 30 seconds it takes for him to be like, well, I mean, I don't really care if I have this kid or not.
The one hot button issue, he used it to make it seem like he was like, yeah, he's pro-choice, but I think he just didn't give a fuck.
Not at all.
Just like, pregnant, not pregnant. What am I gonna take another fucking nude photo or what?
I'm gonna leave this decision up to you, not because I'm progressive. I got better things to care about.
Yeah, you get that pregnant OnlyFans started and then we'll talk. Because he's such a good boyfriend.
He probably would do pregnant OnlyFans.
So the next scene after that.
They obviously bang in excitement about that.
Oh, yeah, they do. I forgot. And
they bang real good. And then he again ignores the prospect of getting money, despite the fact that he's got a kid on the way now and could really use the money.
Nah.
My boss is gonna call me again. Whatever.
Yeah.
I quit.
I'm busy. What is it? His boss says something really funny and sarcastic over the phone.
Something about is this a joke? Because I'd like to hear it so that I can laugh too.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Meanwhile, little does he know, fucking George is peacing out.
Yeah.
George is taking this kid and his no longer being employed, and we're just going to run with that.
Well, it doesn't fucking matter. He's about to get fired anyway. He's about to get fired with that line. That's like, the next one is like, better come in on Monday because you'll be cleaning out your desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a piece of shit.
And then right away, a man and his granddaughter.
Oh, look, this is not what I wrote.
Okay.
All right. The scene I saw, because obviously you saw a different scene than I did.
Yeah.
You saw a man and his granddaughter. I saw a man who is too old to be a father, but too young to be a grandfather, leading a child through the dark streets at night, and then brings her to a phone booth where he has to call somebody whose number he does not know, but has written on a scrap piece of paper, who he refers to as Uncle Art, to figure out where they're going.
Yeah. So that's his relative that he doesn't know well enough to remember his fucking phone number.
Nah, he stole that kid, and he is dragging him to the person who he delivers the children to the sex trafficker.
Because his number's on a disposable piece of paper.
Exactly.
You throw that directly into the sewer when you're done.
Yeah.
In order to get rid of the trail.
And then
this human trafficker.
While they're in the phone booth, the Chud comes out and eats the bad man.
Yeah.
And the child just has no reaction.
First of all, it's hilarious. This kid looks like my younger sister when she was around the same age. So I was laughing about that.
Okay.
But like, if they didn't say, let's call Uncle Art, which in hindsight means nothing. That's just, I'm using the word uncle to make you feel safe about what's happening to you now.
That's what I got too. Yeah.
When he opens the phone booth, and this is so fucking, he goes, step in here.
Yeah.
Come on in, the phone booth.
Yeah, the way that he's talking too is just very ominous. He's just like,
look
remember
both ways when we cross the street.
Now get in this phone booth. I'm going to call Uncle Art. Figure out where we're going. And then, this girl like says nothing about
that together. That's
fucking,
so gross.
The Chud. And it eats the bad man, and apparently has this code of morality where they don't eat kids.
Yeah, not the kid. Well, it's a predator, so it went for the larger dinner.
Okay.
And then left the baby for later in a place where it knows where it is. Dogs do the same thing with baby rabbits.
Oh, God. This just got dark. This just got dark and very real.
And so this kid now has a look in her eye like she just got back from Vietnam.
Yep.
And immediately gets picked up by police where she tells the story.
And is accused of being hysterical. Meanwhile, she's sitting there calmly. just sitting there. She's like, this kid's hysterical.
Telling a story, which is ironic because this is the best child actor ever because she has no fucking lines.
Mm-hmm. All she does is tug on a jacket and sit and look at a phone.
That's her whole job, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
Every child actor should be that.
And then, at that point, they're like, it was her granddad, and I was like, oh, whoops.
Yeah.
I read too much into something like that.
Oopsie doopsie. And then once again, another fucking no context cut to police captain and AJ are going to go check out Cooper's house.
Yeah, where they break in.
Yeah, illegally.
Illegally. I mean, he does say, hey, you're under arrest, but doesn't do anything about it after that.
Because he takes out a knife and Jimmy's a lock open.
Yeah, and then they steal photos.
I don't know if you noticed how many fucking locks were on the inside of that door.
I didn't take notice.
There were like 4 of them. And there's no way you could... So that's George's own fault for leaving all of those locks unlatched.
Well, how do you lock the door from the inside, though?
I'm sure there's a way. There's a couple of them that have like key lock. Either way.
Okay, all right.
If all it takes, and you live in downtown dirty New York, and somebody just has to stick a little screwdriver in and like push a latch open to get into your house, you're getting broken into every day.
Well, look, here's a fun story. I was in Toronto. I was staying with Ryan Long. He didn't have a doorknob. His door had there was nothing to. You just push it open.
He might as well have just had fucking 1970s beads at his front door.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
I slept on the couch.
With a knife in your hand? Because that's what I would have done.
No, I mean, I just,
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, and anybody could just come in. It was just the weirdest way to live.
Ugh, dude. I don't like. So then, they fucking grab some pictures. So that is no longer admissible as evidence in any trial because you obtained it illegally without a search warrant. Everything you find there is nothing. But they take the pictures directly to the head of the NRC, which is the Nuclear Regulatory Commission.
Mr. Radioactive Commissioner.
And his police chief, and then some guy who I couldn't figure out who the fuck he was for the movie at all.
He was just a guy. They needed more men.
Some kind of official of some kind.
Yeah, they just needed another man in the room.
And then we find out that this NRC guy is a crooked bastard in about 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't take long for him to be just outed as a piece of shit.
Yeah, just by the face that he makes, like, he's like, I hope you're not wasting my time here with this hobo you've brought.
Yeah. Here's a picture of a fucking leg with a hole in it. And he's like, wow, that's just
a holy leg.
I've seen a million of those. Show me something else.
I work in radiation. We see this all the time.
Yeah, this is a radiation hole.
Fucking in spectacular fashion, though, all of these officials get slapped in the face with a homeless man's intelligence.
Yeah.
Which, reevaluate your life. You're going to have to.
Yeah.
If a homeless guy who runs a soup kitchen comes across as smarter than you, do your job better.
Although he does kind of go off on them, and I felt like that kind of crapped on his whole point he was trying to make when he kind of lost his temper and like stormed out. I was like, wow.
The police captain is trying to like be a little bit somewhat like diplomatic about it, and then AJ's just like, here's your fucking boot back.
Yeah. I got your Geiger counters here, but if you're not going to take this seriously, I'm going to throw a tantrum. And he storms out of the room.
He promptly does. He fucking tells the one guy to eat it.
Yeah, he does.
Great.
Eat what? That's up to you.
Just put it in your mouth, though.
At some point, the radioactive man lets the ball drop that they were supposed to be transporting radioactive material through New York, and everybody threw a fit. But it's already in New York, baby.
So,
it's been here the whole time.
Yeah, the best part about that being the reason why he can't transport it out of the underground in Manhattan is because he's waiting on permits. Where was that attitude when you brought it in?
Yeah.
You brought it in just fine without telling anyone.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Nah, these permits, though.
Now I care about red tape.
What a mess. What a mess. We can't do anything about this.
Better just leave it in the sewer unprotected so that the radiation can just go wherever.
So it can shut up any folks who live in that hole.
I don't know if you guys know too much about like nuclear power plant disasters and stuff. When there's a meltdown of a core And like this is obviously on a larger scale, but they have to evacuate everything.
Oh, yeah.
Within like a 30-mile radius of that shit.
Blocks and blocks of nobody.
Meanwhile, I'm just taking the subway in fucking Manhattan, 20 feet away from drums of toxic waste.
Yeah, that's just on the other side of that wall.
And somehow you're just fine. Everybody's just fine.
But like the weird thing is you got people leaving, going in and out of the sewer just fine.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah.
They really treat it like a homeless-only problem.
They really do.
Like, if you have enough money for a nice suit, you're immune to radiation. We just have lead in all of our clothes in New York.
Hey, it sucks that the homeless just can't get the same protection. I wish we could really do something about that, but these suits are only fitted for me.
Yeah.
So
me and my old fat ass and mustache.
Oh, God.
There are 2 scenes in this movie where people fuck lines up and they just leave them in.
Okay.
One of them is in that office meeting. AJ starts saying a line, fucks it up, starts over, and they just left it in as if he stuttered. But he says like 4 words of it.
What's he say?
It's something to the tune of like, okay, at least you were nice about keeping my pictures safe while I handed them to you, or some shit like that. But he gets like he gets halfway into that sentence and then just starts over. And then right after that, we go to picnic in the park with George and Lauren, and this creepy reporter who like you don't notice until he walks right up to you that he's standing right behind you for like 5 minutes. And we're talking about this fucking kid that you're having, and she's like, I want to get out of shitty New York so that I can raise this kid nicely in a nice part of town. And he goes, nah, fuck that kid, my job though.
What a great... she just picked the best partner, I
think.
Dude,
like I'm a fucking selfish photographer on the planet. And then, yeah, this reporter's a dickhead, and they're talking and walking about how, like, okay, you got to give me something because I'm a reporter and I want to write a story about it. By the way, I didn't take your pictures, although I'm like the fucking scummiest guy in the movie.
I just fucking, every time he came on the screen, I was just like, just make your own fucking story.
Right? Do your job.
These people don't have to help you. And I don't know how you've made it seem like they have to these people, but they believe that they have to for some reason.
God. And so, like, during that is the other time. Lauren starts her line too early and gets interrupted by Murphy. Okay. But they just leave it in and she does the line again.
Oh. I didn't catch any of that.
Yeah.
Fucking weird.
There's a lot of that, and then there's also, like, some pretty blatant voiceovers.
There are right in the beginning when he's, like, talking to Lauren and she's just a disembodied voice.
Yep. There's that. At one point, the police captain says, God damn it, and you can see his lips not say that at all.
I didn't
not even close.
Didn't catch that.
And then, in like spectacular irony, later on, when AJ and George are stuck in the sewer because the guy's trying to smoke everybody out, like George Bush in Afghanistan, they choose to not voice over the lines, even though the reverb is so insane that I couldn't hear what the fuck they were saying.
I didn't catch any of that.
I didn't get any dialogue there. Like, they're having a conversation while they're trying to find one manhole to pop open. Oh. And I can't hear any lines they say.
They were like, at some point they were just choking on the gas that all of a sudden was there.
Yeah, which...
They were fine until they got to this manhole.
Don't even get me fucking started about how unfeasible that plan is. And they do mention it a little bit. So this NRC guy, his plan is, okay, we're going to gas the sewers.
Not the whole sewers, but just a little bit of Soho.
Yeah, one small subsection of the sewer.
Soho.
Here's the thing. Gases fill the volume of the container they're in.
They absolutely do.
If you're gassing one part of the sewer, guess what? Whole sewer gets gassed.
That makes sense to me.
At no point in this movie do they mention that they will be killing homeless people with this gas.
No, they don't.
They all know that homeless people live in the sewer.
They make no effort to clear the sewer out.
They don't give a shit about them.
Nope.
Like, not even like like they act like they don't exist.
Yeah, my bad. Like this radioactive commissioner guy. Just a pile of shit.
Yeah, he is.
Like that plan,
it sucks.
There's vents that steam comes out of in the sewer.
Plenty of vents.
Where you gotta put blankets all over it. You can't seal the sewer.
No.
There's too much.
I wrote that exact thing down as well.
There's too much sewer.
Because in order to seal it off, they just park trucks on the manholes.
Yeah.
How about the little tiny holes in the manholes?
How about the ones that aren't manholes, but they're just like vent covers?
Yeah, they're not airtight.
No.
And you can't go through like all of Soho like, okay, we're going to wrap cellophane around every single sewer vent in the city.
People are going to ask questions.
Yeah, idiots.
We're suffocating the homeless.
Why are these...
That's our City Works project. Your taxes are going towards suffocating the homeless.
Don't worry. We're just killing the homeless down there.
Oh, my God.
No, it's not chuds. It's the homeless. That's a worse problem.
What's chuds?
Really, it's just like a pleasant side effect of trying to kill homeless people. Like, we're going to gas the homeless. If we get rid of the chuds, all the better. My main priority, though...
We're killing 2 birds with 1 boulder.
Yeah, is fucking murdering these sewer rats. Because I like to wear a suit.
When AJ storms out of the meeting, immediately Mr. Commissioner grabs the phone. He's like, have him followed.
Yep.
And the man who follows him...
First of all, looks like Ryan Gosling's dad.
He does. He looks like a tough guy in the 80s wearing his alligator logo polo shirt.
And
Lacoste.
aviator glasses.
Yeah, he looks like any douchebag from Friday the 13th.
Yep.
And first of all, big power move is hanging somebody's phone call up on a payphone.
He does something much worse than that.
He does a bigger power move where he takes the dime that falls out and he fucking eats it.
Here's the thing. You just took a homeless man's filthy coin, put that shit in your mouth and swallowed it. I wouldn't be threatened by him physically. I'd be threatened by the diseases you're exhaling onto me at that point.
Yeah.
You have AIDS now. There's no 2 wades about it.
Fuck.
Holy shit, that's disgusting. That's one of the most...
shit.
I saw that leg. I saw the chuds later. That was the most disgusting part of the movie for me.
Yeah.
I got grossed right the fuck out by that shit.
Yeah, ew.
Not only is it like a street coin, for sure, because every coin is, that's been in fucking AJ's filthy ass pocket for like 2 weeks probably, at least. Great.
And where was it before that? Was that some homeless guy's tip? Like, thanks for the dirt soup.
Exactly what I was thinking.
And that, not only that, he touches the earpiece with his finger, and then...
That finger goes right in his fucking mouth. You can tell him he swallows that quarter too.
Fucking huge power move.
Dime or whatever it is.
Yeah. Probably a dime. It's the 80s. So, yeah.
At this point, once again, with these fucking cuts that, like...
Yeah.
It basically made me forget what I had just seen.
Which, I mean, in that part, it's probably for the best.
Yeah. We have George and Murphy, the reporter, about to go into the sewer. In the sewer, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And Murphy pulls a gun, and I have become obsessed with watching people's trigger discipline at this point.
Okay.
Murphy has none. You can see his finger right on the trigger curled. That's the no-no.
Well, if fucking Val or Victor or whatever who wanted a gun, if he knows what's up, obviously this guy wants a gun too.
Yeah.
That's the whole reasoning.
And that's great. That's pretty good fucking reasoning.
Yep.
The homeless guy who lives here wants a gun. Guess what? I just wanted one already. Now I do twice as much.
Fuck all that gun does. He gets slurped.
Yeah, he does right away.
He turns the wrong corner and the Chud just drags him down a pipe. That's that.
Whoops.
That's what you get for being a piece of shit.
Oh, dude, he's such a dick.
He is.
And then, yeah, George has a fit. Once again, cut to something completely different over here, like a fucking Monty Python sketch, where AJ gets locked in his own basement.
Yeah, he does. Oh my God. First, he clears out the Harbinger. I forget his name, Val. He's like, hey, they're close to the sky. So he knows what that means. And immediately he's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, when in Rome, speak Roman.
Absolutely. So he just clears out this guy. He's running to safety, only to have the thing slammed on his head and he dies. He falls off the ladder, hits his head, and dies immediately.
Here's a problem that I have with this movie, again, and this isn't the only time it happens like 4 other times. Nobody can convincingly get hit at all in this whole movie.
No, they're either dying or they're fine.
That guy, you don't even get to see him get hit. I thought he slipped off the ladder and bashed his head off a pipe.
Yeah.
Didn't know that he got hit by the same guy that had tailed AJ before.
Exactly. No, I thought he just like, whoops, fucking slippery wood.
There's that. Later on when George has the gun trying to get everybody and himself out of the sewer, and the bag lady no longer trusts him for some reason because he defended himself appropriately.
Yeah.
She hits him on the head and he's cool. And then AJ shows up and pushes her over. You don't get to see what happens to her. She just disappears from the scene.
She dies immediately. She's an old lady. She fell and she could not get back up. And they fucking left her there in the sewer to die. That's what happened. They left her to die because fuck her. That's why. So in that scene, George rounds a corner and sees a guy in half.
Yeah.
And goes, oh my,
geez, Louise.
And then he sees fucking Victor, Kurt, like in the corner, like shaking, like, oh, we got to get Victor out of here. So Victor's a Chud now.
Yeah, he sure is.
Which led me to believe.
He's like halfway between Chud and not Chud.
And he looks like Michael Jackson in Thriller, is what he looks like.
That's amazing. Those are zombies, though.
So do you get bit by the Chud and become a Chud, or was he just fucking around with the radiation stuff?
That's a great question.
Because, like, if that's the case, I don't want to spoil it, but some other people get bit and nothing happened.
Nothing happens to them.
The movie ends and they bump fists.
Yeah, they do that solid Arnold Schwarzenegger and unnamed super jacked black guy hand thing.
Oh, it's
that you see the meme of all the
Carl
time.
Weathers or something like that.
Yeah. So like around this time, a bunch of stupid shit happens that pissed me off.
Yep.
AJ's got the fucking Geiger counter while he's down there, ostensibly stuck in. There's no way there's one way in and out of that place, given how dirty and dilapidated that church is.
No.
Knock a wall down. Number two, that is like the flimsiest latch door. I could kick that shit open by blowing on it.
But he had one little padlock on it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Try harder.
No, just
can't.
Padlock on the rusty hook.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like I could push on that and fucking I will zoom out of that shit. So he's got the Geiger counter. He's down there trying to find another way out of the sewers that he's in all the time, but somehow gets lost in just now.
I didn't get that with George either. Like he fucking knew the way down there.
Yeah.
Apparently can't get back to the entrance where the subway is.
Yeah. Put some fucking breadcrumbs down.
Yeah.
You've been doing this project forever.
Yeah.
So you must have been down there several times.
Bring some spray paint.
Dear God. You just put a little arrow. That's all.
That's all it
How
takes.
easy is that? If anything, it would be helpful to the homeless people.
Exactly. There you'd be doing a service and also not dying in a sewer.
So AJ comes across some chuds swimming around in some toxic sewage.
Yeah, Chud City. We're just people in bulky costumes.
Yeah, and like behaving like it's a KKK rally and there's a burning cross in the center of a circle.
They were.
And that Geiger counter on his hip don't go off. You're within eyesight of toxic waste, radiation, and chuds.
He should be dead.
He should be fucking dead, but the Geiger counter that's fucking on, I guess, is just malfunctioning for 30 seconds.
We'll pretend it was off.
Yeah.
Or in his pocket
then
and
why
not
take
functioning.
It? Then why take it?
I don't know. Well, he drops it, so it doesn't matter.
We get fucking Lauren down there in the basement doing her laundry or whatever, and then in typical white woman in a horror movie fashion goes into the sewer to investigate a noise.
She's looking through boxes and she finds like an old album of family memories.
Yeah.
And she drops it into the hole. And so she goes down there. And
obviously these are a priority.
What does she find in this hole?
She finds a fucking dog hanging.
Yes, she does. And then what does she do about that?
Not much.
She calls somebody.
Yeah.
Because she finds the dog hanging.
She does call someone about the thing that if it's the police, they would care the absolute least about out of all the things that happen in this movie.
Yeah.
There's a dead dog in the sewer? Probably. Bye.
You know what? If there was a dead dog hanging in your basement, my first thing is like, what did you do to that dog? You inhuman bitch.
That's weird. 2 feet away from the only opening and it's in your house? Did you have something to do with this dog?
We're gonna look into this. So yeah, she calls the cops because she wants somebody to come look at it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd want to show that to anybody. And then immediately takes her clothes off and gets in the shower.
Yes, she fucking does too.
They're on the fucking way.
Oh my God.
What are you doing?
That's amazing. She's got no fucking good timing whatsoever.
No. And as a plumber, I feel like you can handle the rest of this scene.
I'm angry.
As you should be.
First of all, I wrote in all caps, what's in your fucking drain? Because this shit don't make no sense. Around this time, before I get into the thing that pisses me off, we go to just a guy with another Freddie Mercury mustache because they're so fucking common.
Welcome to the 80s.
And Bosch, the police captain, is there. And he goes, well, I called you here because I found a head by the creek.
Oh, right, the head.
And it turns out it's his fucking police captain's dead wife's head.
And this is the first we hear about his wife. Or the first we find out about his wife.
Yeah. So I wrote, Bosch responded to his dead wife's fucking head with the same enthusiasm as if I saw a really good magic trick. He's just like, oh!
Unfazed.
And then that's it.
And he goes right to a bar.
Until he's sadly drinking.
Yeah.
That's all you get. Maybe a little bit more of a reaction to your dead wife's severed head and partial spine just in a swamp.
Oh my God, that's his wife. Get him out of here. Like, you could have not said that, and maybe he would have been like, whose head is that?
Yeah.
Nah, says, oh my God, that's his wife.
Yeah, just in case there was any mistaking.
Yeah, if you were wondering who that lady was, that's his wife.
I could have had my shock and terror as a newly divorced husband saved.
Right.
But no, you made sure I knew for sure.
Oh, Christ.
There's fucking... There's no what's in the box either. It's just a head.
Yeah,
There's no box.
Yeah, I found that right there.
Yeah. That guy also not too perturbed.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, this is where I saw it.
Oh, and lo and behold, it's still there.
like you're trying to show your dad a groundhog.
Yeah, look, Dad. Look. Oh, fuck. Yeah.
So, yeah, we go back to this dumb beaver taking a shower. And her drain immediately backs up.
Yeah,
with water.
Weird. Yeah, weird.
There's a huge gurgle that you could hear from outer space, and she pays no mind to that.
Nope.
And then she waits until the fucking water is like shin height, and she's bathing in it to even notice that it's not going down the drain while you're showering.
And at that point, ew, because it's touching whatever's down that drain and coming back up.
It sure is.
There's no way.
It wouldn't be that clear.
No.
So she gets like a coat hanger or something.
People in the 80s were much more ready to dig shit out of their drains, I think.
Yeah, they have no problem.
She knew exactly the shape to bend it into.
Yeah, like she's done it a couple times in this dirty old New York apartment, which is probably true. That's why she didn't care. This is like just a Monday morning for her.
She's just ready to deal with the mess that comes out.
Yeah, and what a mess that comes out.
Yeah.
She sticks that coat hanger down there and apparently pokes a blood blister.
Yep.
And it explodes. Everywhere.
It paints the shower red.
Now, I don't know what the fuck that was supposed to be. It can't have been a chud because shower drains are about 1.5 inches wide.
I'm wondering if maybe a chud had just jammed a finger or like just jammed his penis in a tape or something and just like, that's what it is.
The chud is in the other apartment sticking his dick down the simultaneously connected shower drain.
Yeah.
Like a snake.
Because like this is also at this point you can hear there's like a chud in the basement rattling around.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, this is when that boy comes out too. He's like playing ball in the just terrible fucking hallway.
Horrible hallway for you to have your kid in.
That's the hallway kids get dragged down.
Yeah.
That's like nothing.
And never seen again.
Yeah, why would you leave your kid in that dirty New York hallway?
Well, she's cooking dinner. I'm cooking. I can't look. I can't do both.
Raised your kid to have fucking stainless steel nuts. Because, that door starts banging. His reaction is like, well, let's let it out.
I've seen the Don't Go in the Basement episode of Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I'm not opening any door that's banging.
No, if you can't get the door open, that's on you. I'm calling the cops.
You don't have the mental faculties to turn a knob. I don't want to see what you look like.
Yeah, nope. But yeah, he fucking gets out of there and you're like, whew, good thing that boy left. Mm-hmm. Fuck comes back for his truck. Can't leave the truck there.
So I think that was like a jump scare red herring that was totally ineffective because he expected the chud to come out and grab him when he came back for it. But just nothing happens.
And then two nice monster hands push the door over.
Push the door right away.
Just push that door as if there was no hinges to begin with.
Yeah, none. Not even like, it doesn't even swing open. It falls down.
Yeah, and then they just go back into the door and you see nothing.
Yep.
Love it.
Great. So yeah, I'm pissed as a plumber. And then we get John Goodman cop.
Yeah, because like there was nothing more about that blood.
No,
it's never.
You don't get to know
again.
anything about it.
No.
The next time you see Lauren, she's fucking clean as a whistle.
Mm-hmm. Well, she went back in the shower.
I wouldn't have. There's blood in that shower.
How you gonna get clean?
Whose blood is that?
By the way, and then this is like, if that guy got bit and became a chud, how did not getting sprayed in the face with blood not turn you into a chud?
Yeah, or bit on the ankle.
Yeah, because that happens.
It also does happen to her.
So she's immune to the
Chud virus?
Yeah, I guess. It must not be. He must.
She got the Chuditis vaccine when she was in high school.
Exactly. And that's why you should always get your vaccines, guys. Don't get bit.
Don't become a Chud.
Just
I will agree with you, by the way. I kind of glossed over it, but like 90% of the Chuds in this movie are on par with an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, they're not. They're just gooey, like green rubber people.
All of their heads look like the haunted mask from Goosebumps.
They do.
And I like, because you get that snarling animatronic mouth.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is that? And then I remembered it. As soon as I saw the one headless, I was like, that's coming at Carly Rae.
Yeah.
In like sleep.
It's got the no neck, complete to shoulders thing. Yeah. Fuck, that was a good one. That one scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Dude, it was horrifying.
I had to watch that in 2 parts.
It's probably why I'm claustrophobic. She gets stuck in a mask that won't come off and just gets slimier with time.
Fuck.
Yeah. So we get John Goodman and his misogynist friend.
John Goodman, fit, good looking, believable cop, young, just John Goodman's face on a fit body is a weird thing to see.
It is. John Goodman in his prime, and just hates women, just objectifies the shit out of women. He goes, after catcalling this poor waitress, like the fucking chick that gets the knife held to her in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and just has to deal with that because that's your job. She does stand up for herself and goes, "You're asking for it." And he goes, "I'm always asking for it. I just never get it."
Oh, that's not a good sentence.
John.
That paints you in a bad light.
And then we get like the worst Chud attack in the whole movie, where puppet, whatever, what do you call the fucking people that control puppets and things?
Puppeteers.
Yeah, okay. Where puppeteers just take Chud heads and hit them against pane glass for a while, as if they're coming in.
You forgot the part where there's just 2 homeless people drinking out of bottles, and the one guy sees a Chud come up, and he just like looks at his friend who's passed it. He's like, "Fuck it,
yeah,
meat shield," and he leaves.
It doesn't really make an effort to wake him up. Quite the opposite. Uses his sleeping torso to get himself up faster and run away.
Yes, he does. Yes, he fucking does.
Fucking no honor among thieves, eh?
But yeah, the waitress is like, "Hey, shouldn't you be out on patrol?" And he's like, "Nah." Then turn around. Chud City.
Yeah, so turns out you should have been.
The waitress has the reaction, I would say, that the same one you would have, like, if you like bit into like a sort of raw piece of chicken.
Whoa.
Like, just like, oh. Or like if somebody had given you the finger. You're just like, oh. Like, she didn't seem upset, but she knew that it's not going to be good.
Yeah, man. And then you get to see nothing. You get a whole lot of nothing enjoyable to watch.
No, just blood diner.
And then, the windows are busted out later and there's blood everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
And for some reason, like, every human being on Earth needs to know about this because the street is flooded with people and there are no cars.
And no, for New York City, there's so few people in cars.
Shockingly no cars.
Until there's a mess.
Yeah.
There is a reporter standing outside of that diner, and he says something along the lines of, they're not telling us much. They won't even confirm if somebody was murdered here. Look behind you! Look! Look at the blood.
Use your fucking eyes.
At least 3 people. There's enough blood to fill 3 people flowing out of the diner and into the sewer. Yeah. I think it's safe to say somebody was injured to death.
The manhole's open and it's surrounded by more blood. Yep. And the Geiger counter's going off the charts again. But we're not really going like, all right, civilians with no hazmat suits on, stand back.
Yep. Nope. Everybody get in close and look.
Now, earlier in this movie, they capture a dead Chud. And they're in like a clean room with all these hazmat suits on.
Yep.
And this is how little impact this fucking scene had on me because I just remembered it now.
Oh, yeah.
As with most of this movie.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is that, like, okay, you got to put these suits on to protect yourself. There's a wide open intake airport on every single one of their helmets. It's nothing. There's no filter. It's just like a fucking it's a sink grid and strainer in there. And that's it.
Well, that's enough.
You're breathing all of the air around you.
That keeps the radiation out.
Oh, yeah, that's what it does?
Well, it keeps the pasta in. It keeps the radiation out.
You could get pasta right through the holes. That's how fucking big they are.
They also drop a major little hint in that scene, too. Because they're like, yeah, we found him. Yeah, he's wearing homeless people's clothes.
Yeah.
So that at that point, you're like, oh, it's people turning into monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least the monsters are getting dressed. They have some sort of like, hey, my penis is out.
Yeah,
I don't like
can't
this.
have that. I'm already gross enough from the neck up.
I can't be ripping people apart and getting blood on my balls.
No.
So give me those pants.
I don't want to see the mangled nightmare that's down there after this transformation that's occurred to me.
So we get George and we get AJ wandering through the sewer still because they've met up.
And this is some weird shit. We're having an active crime scene where a bunch of people were murdered in a diner. At the same time, Lauren's being attacked in her building by Chuds that, even though they had no problem breaking a door off of its hinges once, are having a spectacularly difficult time with another one.
So, yeah, she's in the hallway and she looks over her shoulder. There's a Chud. There's a Chud poking its muppety head up from behind some stairs.
Yeah.
This Chud, I would say probably 7 strides away. Mm-hmm. She has enough time to go, oh no, and go back in her apartment and move the fridge in front of the door.
Like 4 pieces of heavy
layers
furniture.
of furniture.
She manages. Yeah.
And the Chud's just like,
Well, that sucks.
I'll get you one day. And then, then he starts pounding on the door after, and she's like, okay, so there's a desk, there's a chair, and she's holding a fridge back like that's gonna do it.
Yeah. It's not number one.
No, it doesn't.
You've seen these Chuds have chimp strength. It's gonna get in there.
Yeah, I wasn't looking, and it does get in somehow.
This dumb bitch, instead of, she's just screaming for help when there's very likely a fire escape right outside of that window she's screaming from.
It's New York.
Leave the apartment.
Yeah.
At worst, you're like 2 stories up, jump out the window. Jump out the window onto a car, you'll be fine.
Just edge along the edge until you get into somebody else's house. Your landlord's right there.
She sure is. She tries to fucking grab the landline phone in order to call for help, trips on a chair and rips the cord out herself.
Oh my God.
And then, like a 2-year-old, looks at the exposed wires and tries to fumble them into the phone. The electrician school really paid off for you.
Yeah, and like props to this landlord for minding her own business too.
Well, she's got a kid to worry about.
You hear that door smashing in. You hear screams for help. Hey,
I'm good.
This ramen ain't gonna microwave itself.
Yeah, my kid's name is Justin, and he's hungry.
Oh God, Justin. Yeah, he takes ADHD medication for sure.
So this is a point where, those 2 things are happening simultaneously. At the same time, this police captain Bosch is trying to convince this guy to move some trucks because he knows that motherfuckers are still in the sewer.
The way he finds out, so there's a scene.
Yeah,
there's a scene where they find
AJ and Cooper are in the subway or in the sewers.
They find all the flamethrower people who got murdered.
Yeah,
because the flamethrower didn't do anything.
Well, they chose to light the flamethrowers and just throw flames at nothing for 30 seconds.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, I really did like, however, like that was such a supreme power move on Bosch's part.
Yeah,
he was like, "No, you're not taking any cops down there. We're doing our own independent investigation." And then he goes, okay, I'll bring cops with flamethrowers though.
Yeah.
And he goes, take them out right now. And Bosch goes, you can try. And then you see one of them just point a flamethrower at the guy filming.
Yep.
Like, now we're here though.
Oh my God. And there's just so few Chuds in this scene that I didn't realize that there was an attack happening and that they had died.
No, you get a yell and then the camera gets knocked, which is so Blair Witch Project that I hated it. Show me Chuds.
But
it's the name of your movie.
It is. There's like maybe 3 Chuds total.
Yeah.
There's 4. There's 4 people credited as playing Chuds.
That's it. Awesome.
So it's more like Chud and pals. But so
Chudley and friends.
Chudley the dragon. So that they walk into this room in the sewer where all these dead bodies are, and George loses it.
He does.
He fucking flips. AJ has to hold him back.
Yeah.
He can't handle the fact that there's several dead bodies, but the last fucking dead body he saw was the same amount of dead.
Yeah, and he treated that one.
He was just like, hum.
Like with the level of enthusiasm as somebody who has like insane gastrointestinal distress.
Yeah, no. To open the next door, more bodies.
AJ does a really good job of, while trying to calm him down, shoving his face into guts.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, relax! Bah, here's your intestines! It's amazing.
Oh,
There's like no tact with that whatsoever.
There's just no, but it's either no reaction or too much reaction from everybody in this film.
Yeah, and so this is the point where they find the shit and they just know how to work government equipment, and they talk to a guy who's falling asleep on the job, and his only job is to watch monitors.
Who are monitors that that camera's in the sewer, they're pitch black, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And he gets tasked with sitting there in case something happens.
Which sucks.
What a government job. If ever there was somebody is getting paid to watch monitors where there's a camera falling over in a sewer.
Yeah. Well, it's the same as watching just like drone footage of like Iraq.
Yep.
I'm just looking at desert all day and nothing else.
Oh, but he's getting paid the big bucks.
At some point during this scuffle, AJ got drenched in water. Because after he tries to console Cooper and then he's on video filming, his hair is suddenly wet for no reason.
It's probably the sweat. It's a lot of pressure being on camera.
So wet hair all of a fucking sudden.
Yeah, he no longer looks like the robber. He just looks like a wet dog.
So they're getting into contact with the government. They tell fucking Bosch about it while he's in the police cruiser, like seriously debating hanging himself with his tie to death.
Yeah.
Like he's just pulling on like, I could. And then the motivation to stay alive is, I just got into contact with fucking George and AJ in the shitty sewer.
I got to at least let them out. Then we'll deal with this hanging.
Yeah. So all of this is happening at once in the movie.
Yeah.
We're cutting back and forth from all of these things happening in the most like confusing way possible, where the only way to tell time throughout this whole movie is whether it's day or night.
And it's always night.
Yeah, it's 90% of the time it's night.
Yeah.
All of these people are Batman.
I got to assume that this all takes place within 24 hours.
Yeah, it must. So we get the only good Chud scene in the whole movie around this time, where you get to see one of them stretch their neck out for it to be cut off immediately.
Oh my God. The neck just keeps getting longer and longer for no... It's like, let me get a closer look at that without getting closer to the paper. It just...
Yeah.
Let me lean right in.
That was like... I feel like somebody in the writer's room was like, okay, well, we got to use these things at some point.
Yeah.
Let's just make his neck stretch.
Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. Just right in there.
So yeah, Lauren cuts that head right off.
Yep.
And then boots it like a soccer ball across the room.
Yeah, after it bites her on the foot.
Yeah,
so
and nothing happens there.
Getting bit does nothing.
No, she's just fine. So Bosch is trying to convince fucking... And this movie, if it didn't suck before this point, now it sucks.
Yeah, this is really where the cookie starts falling apart in your hands.
It fucking sucks so bad. We got George and AJ running around through piles of fucking bodies, trying to save themselves from chuds. So they're at the bottom of a manhole, and Bosch has, after learning that the Nuclear Regulatory Commission guy is willing to literally murder a police captain in order to keep this covered up, which would do the exact opposite.
Yeah, he fucking shoots the captain while he's trying to pull the manhole cover off. The bullet goes right through his fucking body.
It does, yeah. So it must be a 40 caliber fucking pistol.
Oh yeah, that's some damage.
Bosch punches this guy in the face before that, and he gets hit in the face like this is a Bill Murray comedy movie.
I was looking down when that happened, and I heard the sound effects, and I'm like, that sounded really badass.
Well, he gets hit in the face, and then he falls asleep standing up.
Hey.
That's what happens.
Maybe there's a pressure point right there, and just like, bop, sleep.
Like, fucking like he had narcolepsy.
Sleep forever.
Yeah. So, fucking Bosch gets in there and moves the fucking truck off in the manhole, and they get out, and then this guy, after shooting him, decides to try and run them down in the truck that has been rigged to explode at the slightest bump.
Yeah.
Also, this is like a block and a half away from a massive crime scene with news and people looking. You didn't hear a gunshot. You didn't hear this fucking truck get started up. Nobody heard that shit.
Nobody. Nobody heard a fucking thing.
You could probably look and see it from where everybody was.
Well, it's New York, so it's probably like, oh, another gunshot. No, it's the 1:30 gunshot. There it is.
Right on time. You can set your watch to that.
So you got AJ. Yeah, they're both get run down by this fucking guy, and AJ just pulls out his Hawkeye ability that he... Apparently this guy's been a trained assassin his whole life. Mm-hmm. Fucking one shot, hits the guy, blows up the truck.
He just had to kneel a little.
It was one
So the
shot.
truck drives into a manhole, and that bump is what makes it explode.
Oh, okay. I figured he
Here's the thing.
shot just such a good fucking bullet.
Here's the thing, everyone. Those sewers are full of gas.
Yeah, see, I also noted that when the movie started wrapping up, I'm like, hey,
What about the gas?
you didn't put a manhole cover back on there, and you got this exploding truck a foot away from the open thing. Hey, nobody checked to see if those guys were, those monsters were dead. Homeless people are still just down there dying.
Of gas poisoning.
Yep. Yeah, and his wife is okay. She's just fine.
Yeah, she's cool. They embrace beautifully.
And then they just, hold hands and walk off into the sunset, much like Tremors.
A fucking truck explodes above open gas lines that there's enough gas down there to kill people. And the only thing that explodes is the truck and not the entire New York subway system and sewer system.
Hey, that's life in the Big Apple, baby.
Also, again, quite like Tremors, this movie abruptly ends.
Yeah, you left so many things open for, I guess, a second one, sure.
They never, ever go, let's check inside to make sure the monsters are dead.
Yeah, let's look down there.
Because that's it.
We left that open. You know how the monsters come out of those holes? We left it open.
We left it open, surrounded by civilians. And they were hot on our trail when we were coming up.
Yeah. They seem to settle down once we got out of the sewer.
It's a brisk walk over to the next manhole.
That's life in the Big Apple, baby. So right about there, the movie just kind of crumbled into just a dry cookie that nobody's eaten.
My ultimate disappointment here is that there's not even Chuds in the climax. Yeah. The last time you see a Chud, you don't even see them when like the AJ and fucking Cooper are coming up out of the sewer. Which, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, just look down and show me a Chud just on the ladder.
The last one you see is the one that gets his head cut off.
Yeah.
Like many minutes prior.
Yeah, for a movie called Chud, so few Chuds.
Criminal lack of Chuds.
We Yeah, I think the producers need to fucking be in prison for just denying me Chud.
Exactly.
I had a Chud on, and I'm now blue Chud.
You got in Chuddened for nothing.
We kind of glossed over this. During that boardroom meeting, they kind of find a document. They don't find it. Sorry, the dumbass commissioner
right out in the open
leaves that folder open, and it just says Chud, and they're like, "Well, what's Chud?"
Yeah.
And then he gets the call, and he's like, "Okay, so the Chud's dead. All right, well, let me tell you, there's no more secrets. It's dead. And
we're fine.
Cannibal, human badoo underground dweller." But then he finds out later it's contamination hazard underground disposal.
Yeah.
And also, I wrote down at some point when all the Chuds come out, they're no longer Chuds. They are Ugduds.
Above ground, underground dwellers?
Above, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Ugduds.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue the same.
No, it doesn't. That's why they probably called it Chud. I think.
So overall, horribly disappointing movie.
Yeah.
Not nearly enough fucking monsters. You shouldn't have called it Chud. You should have called it a fucking dickhead boyfriend and his cop buddy.
The most interesting.
Get dirty.
Oh fuck, they're filthy.
Ernest goes to the sewer.
Ernest sees a Chud. There wasn't any trivia. The most interesting trivia was that John Hurd and Daniel Stern were in Home Alone together.
Yeah. They don't share screen time in Home Alone though.
No, they do not.
And then the other interesting thing is Daniel Stern's wife is the police captain's wife.
Oh, okay.
So that's his real wife in the movie.
Who gets fucking yanked.
Yeah, right away. A lot of yanking in this movie.
There is.
A lot of chuddy yanking.
So out of 10, what are you giving it?
Now, this is the second lowest scoring movie so far on this fucking podcast. I gave it a 5.5 because there was a monster at one point. Because 5 is it's a movie.
Yep.
And then I get 0.5 for the next stretch.
Okay.
That's it.
You know what? I gave it a 5.
Yeah.
I gave it a 5 because it's about what... Actually, to be honest, it's less than what I expected. Had there been more Chuds?
Yeah.
Great film. But yeah, little Chuds, bad acting. The only thing that really saved it is that the fact that it was like a gross 80s film.
Yeah.
That was really the saving point, was that there was gross practical effects.
Some good blood and guts in the sewers.
And there was a lot of funny shit that happened. I gave it a 5.
Yeah.
It was a film.
Yeah. exactly.
It happened in the 80s.
Yep. It was less a movie about chuds and more like a human interest story that just happened to have a gross monster around.
Yeah. The fact that AJ went to the sewer, saw all the chuds, and immediately like shimmied closer to them. I don't know what to tell you. The movie didn't make sense.
No, it sure did. And it was like it was put together like a fucking like a jigsaw puzzle from hell.
It was. It really was. It was just scenes slapped together.
Yeah, there was really no like fucking like pacing or ties between any of the cuts. Some of them, not most.
I know most movies cut from scene to scene, but this one really just cut from scene to scene.
Yeah, like day to day even sometimes.
Yeah, in good old 80s
or at least
fashion.
It felt that way.
Yeah. It was constantly nighttime.
Yeah.
Like every 80s movie is. All right, so this leaves us with next week's movie.
Yeah.
There's 4 major themes.
Okay.
Okay. I picked up on 4 here. So we got...
I'm down. I'm ready.
We got sewers. All right.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not a horror movie. Let me just get that out of the way.
We got toxic waste and hazard materials making people monsters.
I'm not watching Toxic Avenger right now.
We got New York City. That's a good one. New York City.
I don't think Toxic Avenger is a fucking horror movie either. It's just what I do and have like a fucking mangled penis falling off of him.
Look, I didn't want to watch that film either. You're safe. You're safe from that fucking film.
Good.
Then the last theme, John Goodman. So you got 4 there.
That's tough. I know John Goodman is in 2 thrillers that I wouldn't call horror movies, so I'm a little wary. But just out of curiosity, I'm going to have to go John Goodman.
Ooh. All right. Looks like we're going to watch 10 Cloverfield Lane.
And I knew it. And I fucking knew it.
Oh, yeah. So the toxic waste one?
Yeah.
Planet Terror.
Oh. Ooh, that would have been good, yeah.
It was, I was between Street Trash and Planet Terror.
Nice.
And then you mentioned Street Trash, so Planet Terror. New York City, that would have been a good one, because that's Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan.
Fuck that movie, dude.
And then for Sewers...
I should have picked New York City.
For Sewers, it's a movie called Alligator from the 1980s.
Oh my God, I don't even know what that is.
It's a movie about an alligator in the sewer.
Oh my God. Okay.
So, 10
Lane,
Cloverfield Lane.
I might set a precedent here.
Okay.
I would rather watch Friday the 13th.
You'd rather watch than 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, there are reasons.
All right.
But I'm going to leave that decision up to you. Are you down with that? Or are we sticking with what we pick blindly?
Well, look. I want to watch Friday the 13th, Part 8. That's what I want to watch.
Right.
I was hoping you were going to pick that, but John Goodman was a good one. I'm down to watch Friday the 13th. This will be the one-time mulligan.
Yeah. Okay.
The one mulligan.
I can't say no to that fucking movie. It's horrible.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's like we've run out of things for Jason to take.
Yeah.
Let's send him to the big city.
Punks.
Now, why don't you want to watch 10 Cloverfield Lane? That's my question.
Here's my problem.
Okay.
And my problem is specifically with the Cloverfield series. The first one is about a monster that is an alien.
Yeah.
That lands and it fucks up. I don't know. I assume they're in New York.
I think so.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
The second one is about an extremely obsessed man in a bunker. And they just slap an alien in the end like a Band-Aid on purpose so that J.J. Abrams could add Cloverfield to the name of the movie.
I know.
And then the third one, they did the same thing, but in outer space.
Yeah. They took Cloverfield, which was good on its own, sure. Cloverfield, adding Cloverfield to the title of that movie really fucked it up because I thought it was a really good movie until the aliens at the end.
You didn't need that.
Didn't need it. The other movie, I don't even remember what it's called, the Netflix film that was garbage.
The Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah,
bad. With Chris Shitty O'Dowd in it.
Yeah.
Is he ever the exact opposite of funny?
I love that guy so much.
I cannot with him. He annoys the piss out of me.
Oh, man.
That guy, also, like, he gets his fucking hand stuck in a vortex and cut off in that movie.
Yeah, it does.
And he just goes, oh, well, just another Monday.
Well, that's the comedy. He's the IT crowd.
Doesn't need to be comedy.
I know. They should have done Cloverfield, and then they should have done some movie where John Goodman lives in a bunker.
Now I'm fine with that. My problem more so with that movie is like it's just people being trapped by a fat man. Get Out.
See, you would think that, but then there's a bucket of acid involved.
There's a bucket of acid, and like you're taking him at his word despite having never met him.
I know, but that's the whole thing. You're like, fuck, what's out there, man? What's out there the whole time?
Let me poke my head up and see, though.
He doesn't. Well,
I wanna.
John Goodman's not. Gonna
and then he gets super creepy and gross about it. All right.
Well, look, this is the one time I'm gonna let you pass on Cloverfield Lane.
If it comes up again, I'm forced.
That's it.
Fine.
That's it.
That's the trade-off.
That's the trade-off.
I accept this proposal.
All right. So we're taking a trip to New York City. I believe it's 1986, 7,
something like that.
8,
Yeah.
one of those. Or wait, is it okay? Because 9 is Goes to Hell, and then 10 is 8. Yeah, it's 8. It's VIII.
That's 8.
3 eyes. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's been a while, so I'm ready.
Yeah, me too. I haven't watched these movies I used to watch them every day as a kid. I have them all on DVD every day after school. Fucking pop in.
Throw in Friday the 13th until I fall asleep.
Yeah. Throw the director's cut on there. Let me hear some commentary. But yeah, so I'm excited. These are great films. Glad I got to choose the first Friday the 13th.
Yeah, needed the mulligan on this one because I've wanted to watch a Friday the 13th for like a month.
All right, well, that's that then. You have anything you want to end the podcast with?
No. darkrosecult.com